Needy. Being needy means you depend on her attention to feel okay about yourself. It's not love, it's hunger disguised as affection. You text constantly, need reassurance, and panic when she doesn't reply within minutes. Your mood rises and falls based on how much she validates you. At first it feels like devotion. You think constant contact equals connection. Your brain convinces you that being available every second shows you care. That's the onset. Then comes the peak. You're always reaching out, always checking in, always needing her to confirm you matter. Your self-worth becomes entirely dependent on her responses. Every hour without contact feels like rejection. As the pattern continues, she starts pulling away. The warmth fades. Your neediness creates the exact distance you feared. That's the come down. What felt like care turns into pressure. Over time, neediness destroys attraction completely. It tells her you have nothing else in your life worth caring about. No hobbies, no purpose, no identity beyond her. She doesn't want to be your everything. She wants to be part of your something. The irony is brutal. The more you cling, the faster she runs. Neediness doesn't show love. It shows fear, and fear kills desire. No options. Having no options means she's the only woman showing you any interest. You don't have a dating life. You have one chance. And she knows it. When a man has no other prospects, his behaviour changes completely. He becomes grateful instead of confident, eager instead of selective. At first it seems harmless. You tell yourself it's romantic, but your brain is operating from scarcity. Every conversation feels high stakes. Every date feels like your last shot. That desperation seeps into everything you do. Then comes the peak. You ignore things you shouldn't. Red flags look like pink opportunities. Disrespect feels like interest. You accept treatment you'd never tolerate if you had other options. Meanwhile, she senses it. Women can smell scarcity the way sharks smell blood. It's not attraction anymore. It's pity. As time passes, the relationship becomes transactional. You give everything. She gives what's convenient. You stay because leaving means being alone again. That's the trap. Over time, having no options reshapes your entire self-image. You stop believing you're worth choosing. You become the backup plan in your own life. The truth is simple. Options don't make you unfaithful. They make you valuable. And value is what creates attraction, not availability. Too nice. Being too nice means you never disagree, never push back, and never show an edge. It's not kindness. It's fear of conflict dressed as character. You say yes when you mean no. You laugh at things that aren't funny. You hide your opinions to avoid tension. At first it feels safe. You think being agreeable makes you likable. Your brain tells you that nice guys finish first if they're just nice enough. That's the onset. Then comes the peak. You become predictable, harmless, forgettable. Every conversation feels scripted. She knows exactly what you'll say before you say it. There's no surprise, no challenge, no spark. You're smooth like room temperature water. As the dynamic settles, she starts testing you. She says something outrageous just to see if you'll finally disagree. You don't. You nod, you smile, you validate. That's when respect dies. She doesn't see a partner anymore. She sees a mirror that only reflects what she wants to hear. Over time, being too nice turns you invisible. It's not that she dislikes you. She just doesn't think about you. You've erased every edge that made you real. The cruelest part is this. She'll leave you for someone who challenges her, then tell her friends you were such a nice guy. Nice isn't enough. It never was. Respect requires boundaries, and boundaries require the willingness to be disliked. Retry ignoring red flags. Ignoring red flags means you see the warning signs, but convince yourself they don't matter. It's not optimism, it's denial with a smile. She flirts with her ex. She lies about small things. She disrespects you in front of friends. You notice, but you make excuses. At first, it feels like giving her a chance. You tell yourself everyone has baggage, everyone makes mistakes. Your brain floods you with rationalizations. Maybe she's just going through something. Maybe it'll get better. Maybe you're overreacting. That's the onset, the moment you choose hope over evidence. Then comes the peak. The red flags multiply. She cancels plans last minute. She keeps her phone face down. She talks about other men just to see your reaction. Each time you ignore it, you tell yourself love means accepting flaws, but these aren't flaws, they're patterns. As months pass, the behaviour gets worse. What started as small lies becomes betrayal. What felt like occasional disrespect becomes routine cruelty. You're not in a relationship anymore. You're in a slow-motion car crash, refusing to look at the road. That's the come down. Over time, ignoring red flags doesn't just damage the relationship. It damages you. You learn to accept less, to expect less, to believe you deserve less. Your standards erode until you can't recognize yourself anymore. The truth is harsh but necessary. Red flags aren't challenges to overcome. They're exits you're supposed to take. Ignoring them doesn't make you patient. It makes you a volunteer for pain. Boring. Being boring means your life has no texture, no stories, no passion. It's not that you're a bad person. You're just not an interesting one. You wake up, go to work, come home and repeat. You have no hobbies that excite you, no goals that drive you, no experiences worth sharing. At first it seems fine. You think stability is attractive. Your brain tells you that being reliable and predictable is what women want. So you settle into routine. Same conversations, same dates, same everything. That's the onset. Comfort without growth. Then comes the peak. Every date feels identical. Dinner, movie, small talk. You ask about her day. She asks about yours. Neither answer is interesting. There's nothing to wonder about. No mystery. No depth. Just two people killing time together until something better comes along. As the pattern continues, she starts looking past you. Not at other men necessarily. Just at anything that isn't another Tuesday night of nothing. You become background noise in your own relationship. Over time, being boring doesn't just lose her interest. It loses your own. You stop trying because trying feels pointless. You become the exact thing you feared. Forgettable. The hard truth is this. She doesn't need you to be perfect. She needs you to be alive. Boring isn't about what you do. It's about whether you care about anything enough to let it change you. And if you don't, why should she care about you? No ambition. Having no ambition means you've accepted your life exactly as it is. No drive, no hunger, no plans beyond next weekend. It's not relaxation. It's resignation packaged as contentment. You work a job you hate but won't leave. You talk about dreams but take no steps. You're coasting and everyone can see it. At first it feels like being chill. You tell yourself you're not materialistic, not obsessed with success. Your brain justifies it. You're focusing on what matters. You're present. You're zen. But deep down you've just stopped fighting. That's the onset. The moment comfort becomes a cage. Then comes the peak. She watches you come home, complain, and do nothing. Day after day, year after year. She hears the same excuses. Someday I'll start that business. Someday I'll go back to school. Someday becomes never, and she knows it. Meanwhile, she's growing, learning, building, and you're exactly where you were when she met you. As time passes, she doesn't just lose attraction, she loses respect. You become a project she has to manage instead of a partner she can rely on. She's carrying the weight of both your futures while you watch. That's the come down. Over time, no ambition creates a gap too wide to cross. It's not about money or status, it's about effort, about trying, about refusing to settle for less than you're capable of. A man without ambition isn't just unattractive. He's a warning sign that nothing will ever change. And stagnation, no matter how comfortable, slowly kills everything it touches. No boundaries. Having no boundaries means you let people treat you however they want. It's not flexibility, it's fear disguised as tolerance. She cancels plans last minute. You say it's fine. She disrespects you in public. You laugh it off. She demands access to your phone, your time, your entire life. You hand it over. At first it feels like compromise. You think relationships require sacrifice. Your brain tells you that setting limits makes you difficult, demanding, controlling. So you don't. You accept whatever comes. That's the onset. Then comes the peak. She pushes further. She knows you won't push back. Boundaries aren't just suggestions to her anymore. They're invisible. She makes decisions for you, speaks over you, dismisses your needs without consequence. And you absorb it all, telling yourself it's love. As the pattern deepens, something inside you starts to die. Resentment builds quietly. You don't say anything, but it's there, poisoning every interaction. You stop feeling like a partner. You feel like a doormat with a pulse. That's the come down. Over time, having no boundaries doesn't preserve the relationship. It destroys it. She loses respect because respect requires limits. You lose yourself because without boundaries, there's nothing left to protect. The brutal irony is this: you avoid conflict to keep her, but your lack of boundaries is exactly what drives her away. People don't value what they can walk over. They value what stands firm. Boundaries aren't selfish. They're the foundation of every relationship that lasts. Without them, you're not being kind, you're being forgettable. People pleaser. Being a people pleaser means you shape yourself around what others want. No core, no spine. It's not generosity. It's self-erasure marketed as niceness. You agree with her friends even when they're wrong. You skip things you enjoy to do things she prefers. You mold your personality to fit the room. At first it seems thoughtful. You think making others happy makes you valuable. Your brain rewards you for avoiding confrontation. Everyone smiles, everyone's comfortable. That's the onset. Peace at the cost of presence. Then comes the peak. You become a blank slate. She doesn't know what you actually think because you never say it. You mirror her opinions, her taste, her mood. There's no you left to know. Just a reflection that agrees with everything. Conversations feel hollow. As time passes, she starts resenting you. Not because you're mean, but because you're empty. She wants to know a real person, but you've spent so long being what others need that you forgot who you are. That's the come down. Over time, people pleasing doesn't make you loved. It makes you invisible. Friends tolerate you. Partners lose interest. You become useful, but not necessary. The cruel truth is this: you sacrifice yourself thinking it earns loyalty, but people don't respect those who abandon themselves. They respect those who know what they stand for and refuse to compromise it. People pleasing isn't kindness, it's cowardice. And deep down, everyone knows it, including you. Overtexting. Overtexting means you flood her phone with messages. It's not communication. It's desperation with a send button. You text good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. You send memes she didn't ask for. You double text, triple text, and panic when she doesn't reply immediately. At first, it feels like staying connected. You think constant contact shows you care. Your brain convinces you that more messages equal more interest, so you keep sending. That's the onset. Then comes the peak. Your texts pile up unanswered. You see she's online but ignoring you. The blue check marks haunt you. So you send another message, then another, asking if she's okay, if you did something wrong, if she's mad. Each text pushes her further away. As the pattern continues, she starts dreading your name on her screen. What used to be cute feels suffocating. Your messages aren't conversation anymore. They're obligations. She doesn't reply because replying means another wave of texts she'll have to manage. That's the come down. Over time, overtexting kills attraction faster than almost anything else. It signals you have nothing better to do than wait for her response. No life, no purpose, no value beyond her attention. The irony is sharp. You text constantly to stay close, but each message creates more distance. Overtexting doesn't show interest. It shows insecurity. And insecurity, no matter how it's packaged, makes people run. Silence would have kept her more engaged than your flood of words ever could. Afraid. Being afraid means you make decisions from fear instead of confidence. It's not caution, it's paralysis wrapped in excuses. You're afraid to approach her, afraid to escalate, afraid to express what you want, afraid to lose her, so you never fully try to win her. At first, fear feels like protection. You think hesitation keeps you safe from rejection. Your brain floods you with worst-case scenarios. What if she says no? What if you look stupid? What if you're not enough? So you wait, you hesitate, you let opportunities pass. That's the onset. Then comes the peak. She gives you signals, she lingers, she laughs at things that aren't funny. She touches your arm, she waits for you to make a move, and you freeze. You overthink until the moment dies. She interprets your hesitation as disinterest. The attraction fades, the door closes. As time passes, fear becomes your identity. You don't just avoid rejection, you avoid everything. Risk, growth, honesty, connection. You stay in situations that hurt you because leaving feels scarier. You watch other men take chances while you stand still, telling yourself you're being smart. That's the come down. Over time, being afraid doesn't protect you from pain. It guarantees it. You lose her not because you weren't good enough, but because you never let her see if you were. Fear creates the exact outcome it's trying to prevent. The truth cuts deep. She doesn't need you to be fearless. She needs you to be brave enough to try despite the fear. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's action in the face of it. And without that, you're not protecting yourself. You're burying yourself alive.